Yo, this is Jared Bruce with Dream Magic Studios, and you are now behind the scenes with KingJedi. My name is Jared Murray Bruce, and I'm from Valdosta, Georgia. My position here at Dream Magic Studios, I'm the vice president and the head of operations. So, a production studio, one of the primary things that we do, we have several sound stages that people can come and rent out to, come in and shoot their productions. We also accommodate any pre-production needs. So if you got to come into the conference room and meet with people and kind of discuss things before you get into the actual shoot. And then also the post-production, online, offline editing. We are both the facility, but we also have the staff that we go out and we can help, finish up some of these projects for people. And on top of all that, we also have our original productions that we produce in-house. So the type of clients that we see at Dream Magic Studios, it definitely varies. Everything from the big production companies to smaller ones. One, for example, Kevin Hart's company, Heartbeat Digital. They're running all their studio operations out of here. You have companies like Tridestined Studios. They shoot a lot of independent films for networks like BET. They've shot a couple independent films here. And a lot of other smaller productions. People come in for music videos, commercial shoots, and a nice range. One of the big things for us, like you said, outside of being a production facility, doing the creative aspect, we've been able to work on a range of things. So like one in particular, we had a live show that ran for just under a year called Rhythm Late Night Live, which is essentially a late night talk show. You have 4 young hosts that aired directly in Nigeria on Silverbird Television and through the internet, like on our YouTube, so people can watch it worldwide. Where we appeal directly to the Nigerian market, but then kind of just cover all the entertainment topics, have different guests, interviews, live performances, comedians, actors, things like that. And also more recently, one of our newer productions is Infusion, which is a cooking reality show where we send a host out to look at different dishes that people eat all around the world that have similar names. They're made similarly to kind of show how people's cultures are actually pretty similar and some of the slight differences that we have, and see how we're all connected through food. I'm 24. 24, yeah. You're getting close to the 25th, so depending on when this come out. Yeah. I think one thing that happens a lot of times when I either sit down with people or I might be given a tour, if I don't outright let them know what my position is, they might be a little bit confused, and they might ask for certain people. It's like, okay, but you talking to, the vice president. But I don't really see them as hurdles. I actually kind of have a little bit of fun with it, because sometimes I play along, being the production assistant, or because they'll see me picking up equipment and moving stuff around, so they're not all the way sure. So I kind of mess with people a little bit when it comes to that. But as long as I'm engaging with people, I don't quite see things like that as hurdles. Right. I think, one of the biggest ways that you can command respect, especially in this industry, is being knowledgeable. Definitely know about all the different aspects of what makes this industry tick, everything from marketing and advertising to the actual production to distribution. If you at least know the basics for all the different ins and outs, and in your conversations with people, sometimes you kind of have to remind them and let them know that I can cover, a wider aspect of everything. And once they see that you actually know what you're talking about, they kind of ease back, and they know that, the respect comes with someone knowing enough about their job. It's crazy. I've definitely been asked that question before, and I don't always know the right way to answer it. And so sometimes I say I stumbled into it. But I think I've always been in the entertainment industry just because of the nature of my family, me being able to travel so much, especially at a young age. But I definitely started off music. I was dead set on being an artist. That was my thing. And in terms of me being here at the studio, it was kind of an opportunity that I couldn't necessarily pass on. And it started off on one thing, just kind of helping out in certain areas, and in a very short amount of time, transition into, okay, you got to call the shots and make it happen. So definitely there's a level of stumbling into where I am now. So the Silverbird Group is an entertainment company that spans a lot wider than just Nigeria, where it originated. Everything from broadcast radio, broadcast TV, cineplexes, film distribution. There's a lot of different things that goes into the Silverbird Group, and they've expanded in West Africa. And us being here in LA, we're also an extension where one of the main things that we want to promote is the ability of African producers, African storytellers, giving them an avenue to get their story told, where some of their productions can happen here and those films can be seen in places like Nigeria and worldwide. And you'll definitely see more projects that are directly linked from here to Lagos, where the main hub of Silverbird is. Shows like Rhythm Late Night was produced directly for Silverbird, and there's definitely talks of other shows and potential films that can be kind of shot in tandem with LA and Nigeria, where you could have distribution out there and really worldwide distribution. I probably can't say the crazy situation on camera, but what I will say, there's definitely a certain phenomenon that I've witnessed kind of just being in this industry. And I think one thing that happens a lot is, you have certain people approach you and, things can always get sticky when you're talking budgets, especially when you're talking large numbers, which happens a lot in productions. But a lot of times people approach you and they want a certain value, and let's say they can't afford that value, right? So usually what I try and do is, if this is a number that you can't meet, what's your budget? How do we make something work? Unfortunately, something that happens a lot is people expect, oh, well, you do me this favor, or, if I can get this for free. And it's something that always kind of rubs me the wrong way, because, this is a job that I take really seriously, and I put a lot of time and effort into, making this building what it is, and then also the different productions that we work on. And I think sometimes people don't understand the amount of work that goes into something that you're trying to get for free. And, it's one of those things. I think also being a black studio, it happens more because people feel like, oh, well, these are kind of the new cats on the block. We can ask them for certain things that they would never go to the Fox lot or Universal or any of these other, stages across LA. They wouldn't ask for those same favors, but they feel like they can come to you, because you're young, you're the new guy. And, that's always something that's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That happens a little too often, especially in this industry. But, it is what it is. You always kind of just have to be on your toes and know when to work with people. Yeah, 100%. It don't get much blacker. Stick with it, because, I think one of the biggest things that we've seen is you never know what opportunities present themselves. Shows like Insecure that really started on the web, and it was out there for a while, at least kind of the overall concept before it got picked up by HBO and got turned into a full show. You never know what opportunities are out there, and I always tell people to keep refining your craft. Always focus on what your craft is. It's really easy to try and be in a situation where you just give someone your content or give someone your bread and butter. Make sure that you have as much ownership as you can, and always focus on how to refine your craft and be the best at what you're doing, and that'll help open more doors and more opportunities that could potentially go your way. I say, the one piece of advice, especially advice that I would give to myself, is to just breathe. Sometimes you really just have to relax about certain situations. It's really easy to get stressed out. Oh, this isn't going my way, and I'm getting rejections from these people. Just relax. If you have something that you truly believe in and something that could really work for you, you just have to keep at it, stay calm and collected. It's what's that old saying? Never argue with fools unless you want to look like one. So don't worry about the people that either reject you or they don't believe in what you got. Keep believing in yourself. Be calm, cool, collected, and just always stay focused on the path forward. Definitely, any advice I would give to someone in terms of monetizing their content is weigh out your options. We're in a position where technology has given us so many assets in terms of either creating your own platform or piggybacking off of someone else's platform. You have that option to just put it out yourself and just tweet it out or put it out on Facebook. But definitely try and align yourself with potential brands that are trying to get into the same market that you're appealing to. See what your options are in terms of either putting it on someone else's platform, using your own, spaces like YouTube or even places like Facebook that don't directly monetize it. But sometimes, at least initially, if you do a cost analysis, that exposure might give you certain value that you wouldn't get from putting it somewhere else that maybe is less accessible, but less people see it and it's monetized, or somewhere where it's free, but more people get to see it and you have an opportunity to grow your base before you get in a position where it's monetized. But it always comes down to what your options are, and you always have to kind of crunch the numbers. What's the cost analysis of me, paying to make this happen, and how quickly I can get my money back? That's always what you have to look at. Yeah. If a 5-year plan for DMS, I'm definitely one of those people where I believe in adapting. So I think depending on what day you ask me, that plan changes a little bit. But I think one thing that always stays true is being able to create content especially for people that need representation. Now, it doesn't always mean that, we'll be making political-esque content, but sometimes it's as simple as, if you're in a climate where Latinos feel like they're not widely accepted in their community, you gotta have content out there where people can see a young Latina girl or a young Black woman doing something, being active, being proactive, and just seeing themselves on the screen, working hard and accomplishing things. Those are things that are really important to us. So having those opportunities, especially having opportunities to produce African content, that's something that we're really passionate about. I definitely want to be a part of a movement to rebrand what Africa is, what it looks like, what our cities look like, the type of industries our people in. Nigerians specifically are some of the most well-educated people across the globe, and I want to have that opportunity to show that on multiple platforms. So those are the type of things that I'm always focused on, especially when we're creating content. So 5 years down the line, no matter where we are, those are the things that we stay true to, and those are the things that we constantly want to work on and keep putting in front of people. Well, you check out the website, dreammagicla.com. But we're accessible. I tell anybody, if you got something that you want to work on or you're looking for opportunities to come directly to us, I try and meet with as many people as I can. Definitely check out the stuff that we're working on, see the stages. We have shows like Infusion that's getting ready to drop on the LA TV network. So yeah, check out the website, come see us, come see the space and have a conversation with us. That's really what we're all about, is how people connect, and how different productions, how different cultures can connect and put it out into the mainstream. That's what we're about. Right, right. I mean, hey, don't quit your day job. But I definitely say, a big piece of advice: don't quit your day job. Definitely, you have to exercise patience. And coming from a person, one of my biggest faults is I'm an extremely impatient person. Like, when I start working on something, I want to see the results right away. But in a sense, you have to face reality, just coming down to numbers. Everybody wants to get into the entertainment industry, especially if you're in California, especially if you're in LA. This is what everyone wants to do. So one, definitely have that conversation with yourself. Is this something that I truly want? Is this something that I'm really passionate about? Because I always tell people, make sure you're following your passions. Don't just chase something because you think, oh, this is a way that I'm gonna get rich or how I'm gonna get on. That stuff, it's not gonna give you longevity. That's not gonna be something that's gonna be able to provide for you so you can pay your mortgage and make sure you got insurance and things like that. So make sure it's something that you're passionate about, and if it is, always focus on the craft. Don't get too caught up in, how many likes am I getting, how much exposure. Focus on the craft, and I do believe that those opportunities will come. You always have to keep your eyes open. Be willing to work with people. Have conversations with people. Don't be afraid to collaborate, and stay true to what you believe and what you want to do in the industry. Don't get caught up in these numbers, because look, chances are Instagram is not paying your bills. Facebook, Twitter, it's not paying your bills. You see these people, they posting ads for, Fit Tea or whatever. That's not keeping these people paid, okay? I see it all the time. I see those people come in our studio and they're looking for gigs. They're looking for work, because this is a tough industry. And not a lot of people make it. It's like, it's crazy that we have these conversations, but you can look at the same thing for people that make it to the NFL or into the NBA. I think 1 out of 1,000 high school kids make it to Division I football. And it's about the same. It's actually less than that. It's like maybe like 1 in 10,000 in Division I make it to the draft. And think about all the people that make it to the draft and they still get cut, or they only last the preseason and they don't even get to play in a real game. So that's why I always say, make sure this is something that you are passionate about, that you love. You got to be thick-skinned. It's not going to be easy. Every now and again, someone just gets lucky and they get on quick, but chances are, just numbers-wise, that's not going to be you. So make sure you're passionate about it, hone your craft, be willing to collaborate, work with people, and that's really what it comes down to, and you just try and make it happen. Punch one celebrity? Oh, celebrity? I mean, because top of my list is like Trump and then like his whole family. And then we can get into the celebrities. Then we go jump into the Republican Party, just go through Congress. Then we're going to go through representatives. I knew we were going to get to this. Okay, my whole thing about Trump, winning the election and, the whole environment of everything, I think because, well, one, I was born in the Deep South, so people like my mom, who's, pretty much raised throughout the 60s, 70s, she witnessed everything, literally going from a black school that gets shut down after we end segregation, and then she has to get integrated into the white schools. This is kind of the America we've always known. It's kind of always been in secret, kind of sitting back, but it's just becoming more and more prevalent. And for me, I think, for the next 4 years, we just have to be together in this resistance movement, whatever it is. If you feel like your job is trolling the president every time he lies about something in a press conference, or if you're the person that's calling your representative, say, hey, don't cut our health care, we all have to be a part of that. It's a fight that everyone has to be in. I think a lot of people are scared, a lot of people are worried, but let's not just say that we are. Let's all, have a piece in it. 2018, we got another midterm, so make sure you actually get out there and vote. A lot of people feel like voting isn't important. I always say my movement is vote local. I think a lot of times clearly the popular vote doesn't really matter that much, but vote local, vote for your representatives, vote for all the bills for your county and your city. Those are the things that matter, and I think those are the things that we should actually start focusing on, and then everyone will really feel like they're being represented if we actually go out there, we get to the polls, and we actually have conversations with people, so. In terms of how this whole election affects world policy, I think it definitely puts a lot of traditions and norms in question, because we don't know what's going to happen to NAFTA, we don't know what's going to happen with the UN. All these different policies that have kept the world working with each other potentially are in a situation where there's a lot of uncertainty. There's uncertainty about the whole Brexit situation and how they're going to be aligned with the European Union. So it really does affect everyone. I think more and more we're going to see all these countries essentially turning into isolationists. And it's like, okay, let's just focus on our own. But really, I definitely believe that we have to stay interconnected and work with each other. And that's the only way, to really move forward and be on everyone's good side instead of staying away from each other. My drink of choice, definitely Henny and Coke. If you ain't got Henny, I'll take Jack. That's standard. I don't really vary outside of that too much. I'm a dark liquor type of guy. Yeah. Cut the cameras. We going home.
Oh, you mean this pistol motherfucker?